Okay, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Flop. Today's episode is episode 12, and we're going to be going over some basic cornhole strategy with you guys. Before we do that, we want to thank our awesome sponsors, Triple Crown. Definitely go check out their Facebook page. They also have a .com website. Super cool stuff on there. Always really awesome custom bags. Everybody wants to have cool Triple Crown bags. I mean, it's awesome to look at, and they're just sweet.
Everybody.
Yeah, so cool. Well, let's hop into this episode. Today, I'm really excited to talk about some strategy. We're going to talk about some things. I'm going to show you guys a visual representation, and we're going to kind of walk through some of the shots and some strategy. And if all this is really obvious to you, then it's not for you. We have a huge beginner audience, and we want to get people equipped to make smart decisions on the cornhole boards. Dad,
Yes.
How are you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. I am excited to get into another episode, especially talking about strategy, because you and we both really value the mental side of the game and the and sort of the chess match that it can be when you're playing cornhole. So I'm excited to touch on some stuff. And again, just like you said, this episode may not be for advanced level players, because they may have a totally different strategy. I mean, if your airmail is 65+%, then maybe your strategy is you get in front of me and I airmail over you.
It's a great strategy if you can do it.
It's a great strategy if you can do it, but I can't do it. I don't think you can do it. And I think that probably a big percentage of our audience can't do it. So we have to play smarter than that person. So that's what we're here today to talk about.
Awesome. Cool. So yeah, I mean, that's really what we're getting at here is if you don't have out of your mind, a crazy skill set where you can airmail over every single block and you can roll and you can hit every push, you really need to think about the way that you are playing the game. And
Absolutely.
I would say 9 out of 10 times, the person that plays the smartest is probably going to win. The person that is the most disciplined and, doesn't try to airmail over that first block, they're probably going to win. Incrementally, they're going to inch forward, and the tortoise is going to beat the hare.
Right, exactly.
So your strategy when you're playing cornhole, it depends on a few things. Number one would be your playing style. So who are you trying to be on the boards? It's okay to be an aggressive player, and there is a way and there is a strategy for being an aggressive player, and it can really work out for you. And then there's also you could be a defensive player. That's absolutely a great way to play the game as well. We talked a lot about it with Ryan Windsor when he came on the show, and it's an awesome way to play because it puts all the pressure on your opponent to make the big shots. You're not going into it with all of this pressure. It's like, oh, I got to hit this airmail. Oh, I got to hit this crazy push. It's like, no, I'm just going to lay up behind and I'm going to see what this guy's made of. If he hits it over the top, that's great, but he's probably not going to every time.
Correct. You're absolutely right. And in the, beginner, intermediate, competitive range of cornhole, playing smart can absolutely get you wins. Making smart decisions, because how many times have you in a game, and we try to play smart, but everybody makes a mistake and everybody makes a dumb shot. But how many times have you played a game, lost a game, and you go in your head immediately to that second to last round when I tried that stupid push and threw the bag off the board,
clanged it off the side of the board.
Yeah. And I gave up 8, and it's like, and you go back and you replay it in your mind, and you're just like, you know what? I was down in the round. Go for the hole. Give up 3 or whatever. It's like, but you give up a huge round because you knock your bag off and you shoot off the back, and now you're sitting with 2 on the board and they just eat you alive. So it's like playing smart is so important in this game, especially when you don't have that top tier skill set yet. I mean, we're all trying to get there, but we're not there yet. And so playing smart's all we have,
Absolutely. Yeah, definitely. And that's the second thing I was going to say. Your skill level is what you have to consider also. So you consider your playing style, how am I trying to play this game? And then you address your skill level. What am I capable of? What can I do in this situation? What have I actually practiced? Well, I'm not living in la la land. This isn't a fairy tale. I've either practiced it and I can do this, or I need to be smart and I can probably win if I just play smart,
Right.
And then you also have to consider, your opponent's skill level as well. So, sometimes when I'm playing in a division like intermediate, I don't have to worry about someone airmailing over me 3 times. It's happened before, but he definitely didn't do it 2 rounds in a row. I can promise you that.
Nope. I agree with you. Yeah. And so that's very important. You have to consider who you're playing against. And at regional events in your divisional play, like when you're playing an intermediate, majority of the players you're going to come up against are going to be comparable in skill level. You're not going to have any studs out there. And if you do, you're only going to have them for this regional and then they'll get found out. But it is, it's more than likely someone around your ability. And so you can play a very intelligent game and rely on them to make the mistakes and get wins from it.
Yeah.
And especially at the intermediate level, not everybody plays a cerebral game at the intermediate level. Some people throw a slick stack bag straight up the center.
Yep.
And as soon as you throw a block out there, their worlds collapse. They're trying airmails. They're trying, anything they can do. And they just keep making dumb decision after dumb decision. And I'm not saying that the player is dumb. I'm just saying that,
of course not.
You're still at the beginning. You're still at the beginning stages. You're still trying to figure out the game. So right now they're just not thinking about it at that high cerebral level that maybe you are. You've said it a million times. Your brain is playing in the advanced division, but your ability is not letting you do it.
I've watched a lot of cornhole. Sometimes I feel like I could be a pro in my mind. I see the shots, but it's just the execution. I haven't played for the years that are required to be able to execute at that level. So that's exactly right. Right. So let's go ahead. We keep saying block, 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 block. Let's move in. I want to share my screen with everybody. And I want to, I'm going to share my screen with everybody and I'm going to pull up a representation of what we're going to look at. Let's see. Okay. Can you see my screen?
Yes, I can.
Okay, cool. So awesome. Yeah. Let's get into it. The first shot we're going to talk about is the level 1 block. So boom, somebody throws a perfect block. It's not in anybody's lane. It's in the middle. What are you looking to do in this situation, Dad?
Me personally, I'm trying to lay behind them.
Okay.
I'm trying to throw my bag directly behind them. And potentially I've thrown it at enough of an angle that if I do go straight in behind them, maybe I can even kind of push off and take a little bit of center hole control too. You know what I mean? Like bully a touch. But the goal for me at that point is to lay behind.
Okay, great. So you throw your bag and you want to be right behind, right on top of them. Okay, cool. Yeah. And
like I said, if I get lucky, maybe I can kind of bust up next to them a little bit. And but
so you're throwing like right in here, maybe, not trying to go around them, just trying to throw that bag to where it's landing somewhere in this vicinity. So I can kind of nudge their bag even just a touch to get your bag maybe in a little bit better position to push it later.
Yes, exactly.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome. Okay. Now we've got the level 2 block. The bag's not in front of the hole, but it's, probably 2 bags linked away from the hole. This is a really interesting situation. And something that's interesting about a block is the block doesn't just mess up your opponent. It really can wreck everybody's round that's involved in the round.
Especially that level 6, level 7 block.
Yeah. If the bag's down here in your lane, then you can guarantee that I'm going to hit it every single time. I don't even know how.
Yes. I'm going to hit that bag 106% of the time.
Yeah. So would you say that like when blocks are a little bit deeper like this, so in your level 2, level 3, sometimes I think that it gives you a little bit more space to kind of land in here and you have a better opportunity to get around and a better opportunity to push that bag out of the way. So my bag's coming through here. And if I touch it, I can really take hole control there.
Absolutely. And if you're capable of throwing your bag at a little bit of an angle and doing like trying to do like a cut bag.
Sure.
Level 2, level 3 block is a perfect opportunity to do that. It's because, I mean, if you can just put a little bit of an angle on it, and if let's say, obviously I'm throwing outside, so I'm on the right side of the board and I'm throwing, so I'm trying to throw my bag with a right to left cut.
Okay.
So if I can hit potentially right to the right of that bag,
yeah, somewhere in here,
I can typically cut and take that hole control. And then you end up with a level 1 block. If your bag doesn't go in, you will usually end up with like a level 1 block. And now you've got a bag right in front of the hole and they've got the bag behind you. And that makes their life a lot more difficult.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome. So that's really good. And I like what we're getting at here is, if you've noticed, our first reaction isn't to airmail over that bag. And we want to put our bag in the vicinity and try our best to get some form of hole control or to move their bag in some way. Right now in this case, we'd be throwing from the right side of the board. We want to get that bag out of play somehow. That's not the goal. I'm not trying to hit that bag intentionally and do some crazy wizardry, but just a byproduct of my shot would be to get my bag in front or around that bag, or even lay behind it, to just make things a little bit more difficult for them in the future.
Yes, you are. The hole control is the name of the game at our level.
Yep.
You want to be the one in front of the hole. You want to have your opportunity to score, and you want to make sure that they have a difficult time doing it. So if they throw a block on you, my goal at that point is to try any way that I can to make their next bag a harder bag to throw.
Cool. Yeah. Awesome. So now let's move into the bully bag, or some people call them bumpers, and that's something that happens all the time. So they'll throw their bag. Maybe it's, here, something like that. It's a little bit out of play for them. You could absolutely throw your normal bag straight up the middle, but what we can also trust is that if I throw this bag anywhere in this vicinity, it's going to bump off of that bag, putting their bag more out of play and my bag in the hole. And I know that's super obvious, but I think that if you just take that into account, some people say, I want to throw my normal bag, and that's fine. Absolutely. But just don't underestimate your ability to kind of bounce off that bag and get in the hole. It just makes the hole a little bit bigger, honestly.
It does it makes the hole bigger. You're dealing with a 6-inch hole, but if you've got a bumper off of there, you've got 3 more inches. You widen the hole to like 9 inches potentially at this point. Because that bag is sitting right there. Now there does become a point, like if you touch your bag off and you move it a little bit and then you touch the next bag off, or they hit their bag and they bump it too. You want to stop trying to use that bag at that point, because there's going to be enough space for you to just go straight through the middle between the bag and the hole. And so you want to be smart about those plays as well.
Definitely. Name of the game when it comes to bully bags is just staying tight to that bag. So if they got a bag here, I want to make sure that I'm staying as tight to that bag as I possibly can, because if I try to, subconsciously, we all do it. If we're trying to get around something, you do it all the time. You'll throw off to the right or just a little bit too far to the right. So don't worry about touching that bag. If anything, it's going to help you.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So, and I think that it's really important. That's a bag that's a bag that you should practice. Is that bully bag. Because you never know. I mean, that bag's sitting right there and you're able to get in the hole without touching it. Sure. That's fine. That's all well and good. You've got your 3 points for that bag, but there's a very real possibility that they can collect that bag right there. And now they're sitting 2 in the hole. And what are you going to do? You know what I mean? So now at this point, there's a little more pressure on you to do something. So, but if you can take that bag out of play and you can finish your round, you've got guaranteed points if you can finish.
That's exactly right.
and that's the way you have to look at it. Now, obviously, again, people in our particular skill level, a 4-bag is not a foregone conclusion. But anytime you can say, if I can finish this and get points, or if I can finish this, I'll get points. That's important.
That's the main goal. Just one round of cornhole. It's a chess match. You have to think about the last bag. It's why we don't airmail after someone throws a block the first bag, is because we have 3 more bags. And just like we said, the block messes up everyone. So you can trust that it's probably going to mess them up as well in some form or fashion. And you need to see how it plays out before you start going into your toolbox for different, more specialty or higher percentage shots.
Yeah, absolutely.
Heck yeah. So now let's talk about my favorite in the whole world, the bag in the dead spot. So this is a really, really tough situation to get in. So here's my bag. We're the green bags. I throw my bag and it hits in the dead spot. It hits somewhere in here. And now in my experience, I'm having to do damage control because say I'm throwing from the right side, I hit the dead spot and it's in my lane on the way to the hole. I mean, they literally have an open lane to throw their normal bag. And I am severely impeded by this bag sitting in my lane. And I have done so many rounds where I'm trying to get around this bag. I'm trying to throw over the top of it. So I wanted to talk to you about what's the best way we can salvage a round like this? Because you can ruin yourself if you try to get real fancy and try to get around this bag.
Yeah. Or if you're not Eric Davis and you can't push it from the end of the board to the hole.
Yeah. That's totally doable for him.
Right. Exactly.
He'll that's not a dead,
that's not a lost cause for him. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boop.
Yeah. So what do you think? Do you think we should just try to get in their lane, try to make the round as messy and just terrible as possible?
This one is a tough one because there's not really a safe. When that bag's sitting right there, there's no, you're not safe. You're just not. Because you can try to go over it and everybody thinks that they hit around the center of the board.
Yeah.
Until you throw a dead spot, a short block, as I like to call it.
Short block.
When you hit that dead spot right there and your bag is sitting down low, and we've all done it. And we talked about it in the last video as well. That bag sitting right there, for whatever reason, it's like a black hole. It has this suction effect to which no light can escape from. And so when you throw your bag, it's 9 times out of 10, you're going to clip just the back lip of that bag.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to cause yours to projectile the speed of light off
right here. And then all of your bags are going to be piled up right here somehow.
Yes.
How's this even possible?
That's
what the end of the round looks like when I throw this first bag in the dead spot. Yeah, exactly. It's terrible. So I really think what I'm going to try to do in the future, honestly, is I'm not going to go for the hole. I just think it's too risky. I really do. And I mean, maybe something I'll practice in the future is just throwing bags over bags that are in the dead spot and trying to get good at sliding.
Definitely not a bad idea.
Yeah, but I think for the most part, honestly, I'm going to try to just throw a soft throw and just lay up in here.
Yeah.
Just maybe a little bit more arch and just make stuff messier in the middle, because right now they've got a perfect path to the hole, and that's not good for you. And so if you can
damage control for you at this point,
if you throw 4 bags on the board in this situation, I don't think that's bad, because most people are throwing one off because they're doing something crazy trying to get this bag out of the way.
Right. For me, like I was saying, it's not a safe bag because it truly does affect you so much. Unless you're, again, your skill level is very high, then it's a non-issue. But if I have that bag sitting there, I've got I work a little bit with a reverse cut where you angle the bag this way.
Okay.
And so what I'll do is pretty much what you said. I don't want to overthrow the bag because I definitely don't want to lose another one. I
Yep.
want to make it count. So I will throw a light reverse cut with this kind of angle on it and try to hit somewhere about where you're showing,
Yep.
to where it's probably not going to cut up and go into the hole. But if I can messy up the middle at that point, I'm feeling good at that. As if I can take any of their lane away, then I'm feeling better about my bag.
Oh,
So
yeah.
I may be, after my second bag in their lane, they may have one in the hole, but now they've only got 1 point.
Yeah.
So let's see what they do now. You know what I mean?
For sure. And if it ends up being, they have one in and then they throw their last three on because they can't do anything and ends up being a 6-4 round, they score 2. I'm happy with that, honestly.
I'll take giving up 2 any day.
Yep.
Unless they have 19.
Yeah, unless they have 19. Then you got to go full Eric Davis. Bags hanging off
collect that
here,
joker,
and you just got to push it in.
Yeah, it's sitting on the floor in front of the board, and you've got to push it in the hole somehow.
Yep, exactly. So, okay. So we've got, let's see. Yeah, we've got blocks in our lane, which are terrible. And then we have the glorious block in the opponent's lane, which, is not necessarily something we're trying to do intentionally all the time. But
Right.
Man, it's awesome. You can bumper, just like we're talking about. You've got your lane, the exact reciprocal of what just happened in the last situation, but you're benefiting from it.
Except I make one adjustment when I throw a block in their lane. I try not to use that bumper.
Okay.
I'm glad that it's there, but I'm trying to not move it out of play. I want them, worst case scenario, I want them to accidentally push my bag in the hole.
For sure.
Because a lot of times they're going to try something. They're going to throw a fast bag. They're going to throw it on the fast side and try to like sneak around or even try to airmail, and they'll hit it short, knock it in, and their bag flies off. We've seen it tails all the time. We've seen it a million times.
Yep.
Now, sure, they might airmail right over it and all as well and all that. But again, we're talking about low percentage airmail shooters. We're talking about, not automatic with making magic happen on the boards. We're talking about regular, everyday players. And to me, that bag right there, I'm going for a 10 in this round at that point. What I mean?
Yeah, I'm with you.
That bag is fine where it's at, and I'll leave it all day.
That's awesome. Any other shots that you have in mind that you think could help people out, or just like things that people typically see?
Well, if you're on the right side of the board where we're at, again, you're trying to stay tight. You're trying to stay tight to that bag, just trying not to use it too much. So you want to just throw it in. I would say that if you did anything, I mean, if you were really trying to muddle things up, maybe you settle a bag right beside it and you've got 2 blocks right there. I don't know if you have any kind of roll bag, then maybe your third bag, you roll it. I don't know. Or you start trying to collect at that point, cool. But my game with a block in their lane is 10 is the goal. Yeah. And if they knock me in, great. But for me, I'm not trying to even get that bag. I'm trying to just let it sit right there and let them have to deal with it.
Awesome. Yeah. So that's all for our scenarios. I just wanted to kind of hop in there and show you guys.
Yeah.
Some of the stuff that we deal with and we see all the time. And I think if you implement this stuff, like at a blind draw, especially, where there's a wide variety of skill levels and you don't know who you're going up against. You can be safe by playing smart. Playing smart is always a great decision anywhere you are. So those are some shots that you can, consider.
Yeah, absolutely. But the main takeaway from what we've said today is just, unless you're really good at airmails, then don't airmail your first bag. If somebody sets a block in front of you, don't automatically throw your very first bag as an airmail, because, and again, unless you're a high percentage airmail shooter, it could very well be a wasted bag. You throw it off, they've still got a point on you right now. Then what if they throw their next bag and it goes in? And then what do? You're trying to airmail again, because now you're like, oh no, they've got 4 points. I've got to get some points airmail off the back.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you're setting yourself up for a really dangerous situation and a really big loss of points in the round. So for me, you know, you set your block. If you throw the block, see what they do. Maybe you throw your block. Maybe you try to lay up behind your bag, but maybe you try to push replace, you know, depending on how deep your block is. Which obviously that is a perfect scenario. If you're able to push your bag in and then leave one on the hole, that is just all the better. But typically for me, if I'm going to airmail, it's bag 3 or 4.
Yep.
And usually if it even becomes bag 3, it's because I've got my first 2 bags in front of the hole. They've got their first 2 bags in front of the hole, or maybe 3, and maybe it's coming back to me to throw my 3rd bag. But like, there's no other option, you know, like it's just, there's so much laundry in front of the hole. And typically in that situation, if they have 3 in front of the hole and I have 2 in front of the hole, I'm laying my next bag up. I'm just throwing it and laying it there and seeing if they go for it. If they go for it and they miss, then I have a choice at that point. I have no harm, no foul trying an airmail, because if I miss, it's a wash. If I make it, I get points. Now, if they make their airmail, that puts a little more pressure. It puts a little more pressure on you. And then you're definitely probably going to take it. I doubt very seriously in a situation you want to just give up 2 points. So take the chance and give up 3 if you miss.
For sure. Yeah. We're not talking bad about the airmail. The airmail is an absolute necessity. You have to be able to airmail in this game. We just want you guys to take that shot in the most advantageous time.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Awesome. So yeah, pretty much like as a lower, you know, level player, or somebody who's, you know, in the middle of the pack, I think a really, really good strategy is to just throw blocks and get your whole goal in life is to throw a block and to nudge that bag in over time. You don't have to go for that block. It doesn't have to be a clean, perfect, fast side push to take your block in and then take that bag in as well. It can just be incremental choo-choo train into the hole. That's what you're going for. You want to keep hole control as long as you possibly can and just tap in, tap in, tap in. And if you don't get every bag in the hole, that's fine, because you've maintained hole control the entire time.
Absolutely. And you have to remember too, if you set a level 1 block, you're right there at the hole. You're literally at the hole. So if you're not able to push it in, chances are they might.
Yep.
You know, they try an airmail. Level 1s are notorious. When someone's shooting an airmail and they're trying to get over, notoriously people will hit short, hit the bag that's in front of the hole, knock it in, and theirs flies off. You know, it definitely is advantageous for you to get and keep hole control at this level.
Yeah, definitely. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode about some basic strategy. I hope that you guys can implement this the next time you go play, and you get some wins just from being a smart guy or gal, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I'm telling you, playing smart is very important. And that's important at all levels. I mean, you heard Ryan Windsor talking about how important it was to play intelligently.
Yep.
And he is one of the greatest in the world. So, you know, take that for what it is. Play smart. It's a lot better for you in the long run. I believe you're going to get more wins playing smart than being reckless.
Yeah, I completely agree. So as always, guys, if you have any other ideas for things you want to see or things that you think would benefit you, please comment down below. Please like this video, share it with your friends. We love engaging with you guys as always. If you want some cool flop merch, definitely go check out our Teespring link down below, and just stay tuned for more cornhole content, my friends.
Yeah. See you guys.
Cool. See ya.